delicious. Welcome back to the boys in the pod. That was I've been had this out of the fridge for like an hour because I was like, oh, I'll do this. It'd be a funny way to do it. And you know what? I can tell by all the laughter it was worth it.
You've not given me laughter. You've given me dread.
I was gonna say. I could see like peek behind the curtains. We're recording this over Discord, and I could see Turtle Guy's icon just like blip in and out as I could hear him kind of silently chuckle as that was happening.
No, that was it was a chuckle, and I also realized I have a can in the freezer. I don't know how long I left it. It's probably blown up by now. Yeah,
that's not a good idea.
In the freezer.
That's the kind of thing you throw it in for 10 minutes and then grab it right away. Like, you don't even leave the room it's in.
You put your.
We haven't introduced ourselves, by the way. I'm David. Cyberprime is the host with the most. Well, I'm the host today, and Turtle Guy is also here, threatening to bomb his home with delicious sodas.
Wow, but like I've never ever. Is this like a frequent thing you do? Do you just put your cans in the fridge, Turtle Guy?
No!
I do it. I do it too. I can back this, but not like.
I've
That's
never.
Not where I store them. The thing I'll do is, I do it with beer. So, by the way, I'm not drinking a beer. I'm drinking a delicious soft drink from America.
Oh no, wait, we can't say it.
Squirt.
Oh, you like a good squirt?
It's the slogan is thirst quencher. And let me tell you, it's working.
Oh well, that's good.
I can agree with this because
warm here.
It is a little bit warmer, but.
A little bit warm, but
for drinking, like if I decide, say if I like buy, I'm talking about alcohol here. If I buy a box of beer for like the night or whatever's happening, if I buy it that day, it's not going to be cold enough that night. So I'll always stick my first one in the freezer for like 5 minutes, just to give it basically like. It's like cooking beans with a flamethrower, you know. You haven't got time to waste, so you just fucking throw it in there, and you take it out. You got a cold beer. The little mountains on the Coors bottle, they're dark blue, baby, cold activated, and you're happy.
Do they actually work?
Yeah, although it's weird.
Saw the gimmick.
They do work, but the thing is, I don't know how cold it has to be for them to work. Because if I have Coors in the fridge for like a day. And they are cold enough for me to drink.
Mm-hmm.
The mountains will not be dark blue. But then I'll leave that like whatever Coors I don't drink that day, I'll leave it there. And then like a month later, I'll be like, I'm going to have a drink. You know, maybe there's football on, some friends over, whatever. And I go to open it, and then they're dark blue. Like, they're in there for so long.
Maybe there has to be like things have to actually
Rocky Mountain cold.
I don't know.
Has to be like unhumanly cold.
You should bring it up to the Rocky Mountains as a test. You should just strap a load of them into your backpack and just take them out at their various altitudes until
I
you can
remember there
determine
was
exactly
an advertising campaign.
Jean-Claude Van Daminator. And Jean-Claude Van Damme! That was a totally cool thing that you just said there, Turtle Guy. That did not include any cuts whatsoever. That was a seamless topic.
Turtle Guy had to run to make sure his can didn't get violated.
Yeah, he did make sure that his house wasn't in danger because of him putting his can inside the freezer.
He lost the west wing of his home. His
Again?
$40 million LA mansion.
It's the turtle telescopic mansion.
Yeah,
I'm back!
But
I got it.
You got it?
The can is safe.
Cool!
It is cold.
There you go.
And it is safe, and it has not.
What is it a can of? How we not? I wish it was like a tin of beans.
Oh,
it wasn't even like a can of Coke.
It is my final can of Monster Punch.
Monster Punch.
It sounds like a perk out of zombies.
You open the can, and it's like this big fist.
Get some
it's
Monster
like a can
Punch
of
tonight.
That reminds me, I recently rewatched. I think I mentioned it in one of the other podcasts. Video Game High School. And there's a gag in it where they'll go to the vending machine and pull out a can of pizza. And like they open the can and pizza falls out of it. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
so wild. And I watched the behind the scenes video of how they made them and like them and they like roll up pizza. I was like, ugh. I just ate the pizza.
Pizza rolls are very nice. I have pizza rolls, which are like rolled up pizzas, like bread rolls of pizza. They're
I know what a pizza roll is. I'm not 3.
Hey, I might not be describing it to you. I'm describing it to the audience that may not be aware. But pizza rolls are very nice. They're also cheaper.
You've annoyed me. You've mansplained me, and you know what I would call that?
I am a robot. Thank you very much.
we are going into the topic. All right, I'm sick of
Okay,
this shit.
Into the
I'm sorry.
topic.
No more small
Um,
talk.
the topic
Which
is
I don't think I contributed to at all.
things that piss me off.
So I guess you could
Me
say
specifically.
cyber mansplaining.
What? I didn't.
No,
I was explaining for the audience
Things
at home if
so
anyone
do we
didn't
have to
understand.
think of things that piss David off, or are you going
no,
to
it's
tell
not
us?
me specifically. This isn't just what things annoy Dave every time Turtle Guy opens his mouth.
Oh, I
Turtle
was
Guy,
gonna
what?
say
Actually,
that.
let's do a quick friendship test.
Oh God.
What things do you think annoy me?
I know two off the bat.
Customers, traffic, other people, children.
None of them. Oh, I forgot children.
Children.
Can I say my two?
Yeah,
Pompous people,
Feet
annoying
and eating with
people.
your mouth open. And I
Yeah.
agree with the eating with your mouth open sometimes. It depends on how close you are to the person, and it depends on whether or not they're doing it deliberately. Because I know some people that prefer to eat with their mouth open. I don't know why.
yeah, and they can go fuck themselves. To be honest with you, they need extinction. Honestly, needs to
Okay,
hit
it might
that
be a bit
second
harsh.
population.
God.
Might
How
be a
do feet
And also,
annoy you?
proximity doesn't. What the fuck did you just say?
How do feet annoy you?
They don't annoy me. They repulse me. I don't. I don't like seeing them. I'll get back to the feet, but I want to focus on the eating thing for a minute because proximity is not because right. Here's an anecdote. Went to see Jurassic World, the new one, Dominion. That's what it's
Dominions.
called, isn't it?
Rise of Gru. Were you wearing your
I'm
finest
off
suit?
the podcast. I'm leaving the podcast.
Oh, I
It
still haven't
only- it
seen that
only
movie. and
took-
I kind of
Wait,
want to.
sorry. Number 3, feet. Number 2, mouth eating. Number 1, Cyber's jokes. Pet peeves. Now,
It's true.
so I'm sitting there watching the. I was going to say enjoying the movie, watching the movie, and so I'm on the left-hand side of the cinema. On the right-hand side of the cinema, 2 rows back from me, I can hear. I'm like, how am I hearing? Oh, I'm fucking sure. I have like super hearing for this shit. I hone in on it like a bat. Like if
Someone
anyone
could tell you
is chewing
something
loudly, I
really
can fucking hear it.
important.
When I'm in a restaurant, I can hear it like 3 tables over somebody because I'll just be like, and I'll as when you this is the thing. You know when you see someone making a sound, you're more hyper aware of that sound.
Yeah, because you've taken it in more and you know you're not
Yeah,
just imagining
exactly.
it.
It's not like a subconscious thing at that point. It's like a conscious thing. You're listening to that. And there's no. I always seem to do it. I look around the restaurant and I'll always spot the one fucker who looks like he's chewing cement, and then I fucking hear it for the rest of the thing, and I can't enjoy my meal anymore. I'm
Why don't
very,
you just
very
wear?
angry.
Why don't you just wear a blindfold when you go into like eating
Why
establishments?
don't people fucking grow up and close
Yeah,
their
I
mouths when they
mean,
eat? You're an adult.
Yeah,
Sure,
I'm
you
with
do it.
David here. What?
You do it. You are one of the loudest eaters I've ever heard. There's
I'm
several videos where if you
sorry.
listen in the I will like say Turtle Guy will make a noise and it might not even come up on the microphone, but I will like very quickly be like, stop fucking chewing, stop.
I'm
Like, you can hear
sorry.
Oh, you will be.
It's come down to watch longs though, where you have to like mute, or where we mute our microphones if we're going to eat something. It's not possible to do.
We're
Sometimes
too
I'll join a
afraid of
party and
David killing us.
Cyber will be like sitting there with his mic muted and he'll greet me and he say, anyway, I'm gonna go mute my mic because I'm eating and I know how much you hate it. Oh my god, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, it works.
I do it anyway, just because I'm
Good
like,
friend.
yeah. I live life on the edge. I wanna see what you do.
But yeah, this guy in fucking Jurassic World, the third one, was literally just so unbelievably loud eating popcorn as well. That's not even like a
Here's a
really
question-
a
here's a
lip smacking
question.
food.
Maybe he was
I have
doing
an
like
anecdote, though.
gallons of like butter as he was taking.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he poured
Sweeten
half
it up.
his drink down his throat while he did it.
Maybe
Would
he
you-
was
would you ever-
choking and you just didn't realize.
Would you
I
ever
hope
Do you
pull
think I
anyone up
care? I
on it,
don't fucking
David?
care. At least if he chokes, he'll shut the fuck up. Say again?
Wow.
Would you ever go like full like viral person and just start shouting someone out of it, or no? If it ever got like really
No.
bad.
Because then I'm the asshole. Like, if someone's right next to me, chewing in my ear like a fucking cow, I will say, what are you doing? Stop that. But if I'm in a public setting I'm not gonna stand up and point at someone and be like, "You're a prick, fuck you," like start berating them because of their eating. I will say to whoever I'm with, that person's being fucking ridiculous. I'll vent that way, but I'm not gonna like attack them about it.
I have a question
What?
for you.
Oh.
What is your question?
Have you ever or will you ever try and watch a mukbang video?
No. Oh my god, no. I watched a video of someone else watching a mukbang video because they were whatever they were talking about. They showed a clip from a video of them doing a mukbang, and this person was pouring like I can't remember what they were eating, but they were pouring hot cheese on it, like melted cheese.
Okay.
And as they did that, they were eating something totally unrelated to anything on the table. I was I was seething, and it was like 10 seconds of a clip. I was seething, and mukbangs as well. The greed on that shit pisses me off. The amount of food, like sometimes this is a really weird thing. I didn't even realize I had this thing until you asked me that question. But sometimes I will see a gargantuan amount of food, and it just pisses me off. Like you simply do not need that at all. Stop.
Can't really eat that much. I get filled very, very easily, so that never really happens with me.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, no, it's possibly a problem actually, but it's fine. But except for coffee, I can
My
drink
belly is a black hole.
obscene amounts of coffee, and there's no end.
Well, I've
That
already
just goes
figured
straight in
out
my
how to
bloodstream.
drive David to the point of death. Like, David, he
Yours.
enjoys telling me how to kill me. But one day I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll get David in a room. Maybe it'll be his bedroom. Lock it. Make sure the windows are sealed. He has no fucking escape. And then I'll get a speaker, surround sound speaker, on full whack, and I'll play one of those mukbang videos. And it's gonna end with him ripping his ears out.
That's horrifying and also not deadly. And also, if you're sealing the windows and the doors, you'll just fucking suffocate him first.
So it is deadly.
Yeah, that is deadly. But
Put like little air holes or something.
speaking of driving David to the point of insanity, my personal pet peeve, which is something that I've noticed nearly every single time I get into a car, is idiots on the
Is that how
road.
much we tell you to hurry up?
No, okay, that's not a pet peeve. That's just a meme at this point. I drive kind of slow.
You go,
Kind of.
plus we go to places super early.
Yeah, I leave super. Okay, I picked up these guys one time for a movie, which is going to start an hour and a half.
Guys?
I can't remember what movie it was, but we ended up. It
It was
was.
Sonic.
I scheduled it like I was thinking it would take about an hour to get in there. It ended up taking like about 45 minutes, and we had like half an hour to just walk around and do nothing because everything was basically closed. So yeah, that was a thing. And then we ended up for that same time. We got there, I think, 10 minutes before the paid parking ended, and because I was a noble person, I decided to buy the parking for those 10 minutes, and I ended up because you could only pay in certain installments. I ended up paying with 15 hours, I think, of parking, which was put on my ticket, which I found kind of humorous, and I just slapped that bad boy on there. I had 15 fucking hours. No one could move me if I wanted to, or if they wanted to, I should say. But anyway, back to what I was actually going to say is sorry, actually, you were going to say something.
David.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna mention a crime I committed.
Oh.
Just when you were talking about paid parking, I went to college for an entire year, and I think I paid for parking like 4 times.
Oh.
I think I was there the 4 times you paid for parking.
Because I always asked you for change.
Oh, I see how it is. I was the
anytime I paid, it's because someone else was in the car and was like, "You got change? I'll spot you," as if like pretending I always paid my park. I never paid my parking.
Yeah, because I
always do because I'm paranoid. I
never
actually
got clamped.
No,
I
but
knew
that's the
people
thing.
that got clamped. I never got clamped.
I never saw anyone get clamped until literally last week when I was walking home from a train station in a car park that I didn't even really know was there. I thought this was part of a fire department thing because it was right beside the fire department.
It was.
And there was 3 cars right in a row, all clamped, and there was a very confused-looking man on his phone, literally scratching the back of his head like the stereotypical thing, looking down at the clamp on his car. So yeah,
There's a
no.
question mark floating above his head.
Yeah, it was a side quest that was just waiting for me to go there and activate. He was going to go tell me to get something, but I didn't do it.
He just doesn't know how a clamp works. He's like, wow, look at it.
It's growing an extra armor.
Whoa.
Yeah, but that was
I'm
the
gonna
first
bring you
time, and they were
home.
all 3 of them space by space, right beside each other in that car park. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, back to my actual pet peeve is idiots on the road, which is basically, this could be just because, like, no, actually, I was going to say it's just because I passed my driving test within the last decade, that it's still in my fresh memory. But I don't think that's true, because there's people that have also passed their... I'm saying decade is a generous fucking number to try and cut some people some slack that maybe went out of their head. But it doesn't.
No,
And they
no.
fucking... There's people that do not indicate when they're overtaking. There's people that overtake on corners. There's people that undertake on corners. I got overtaken and basically undertaken at the same time one day when I was driving down a road, and it was actually terrifying. That's where they undertake you on the hard shoulder. And it's...
I've never seen... that's never happened to me.
That's happened to me twice. And I'm driving, like, basically to the top of the speed limit, not over it, but I'm not, like, going slow either. And it's just... Some people...
Undertaking sounds so terrifying.
It does, yeah. It sounds like they're rolling up beside you. They're just gonna roll,
It sounds
roll
like
in the windows of the coffin.
And then someone rises up in your back seat.
It's the
I'd
wrestler
rather
guy.
that though. But I totally agree with this, because there's a roundabout on my drive to college, and I was driving back home one time, and as I was driving, I was on the roundabout, I was driving around, a guy had been sitting to come onto the roundabout and hadn't moved, and it was literally as I was pulling up, they pulled on, and I nearly fucking hit them, and I was like,
yeah. Oh, there's some people
so completely oblivious. That's why I can't wait to move somewhere where I don't need a car. I'm just gonna get a fucking train everywhere. It's gonna be unreal, or a bike.
I'm the opposite. I want my vroom vroom, but I am also terrified of all other road
But the difference is
that you're calling it a vroom vroom, first of all.
Well, first of all, yeah, I didn't know you were getting a Tonka trunk, but I think it also depends where you live. Like, for us specifically, I was gonna say, without getting into specifics, us specifically, we live in the middle of nowhere pretty much, so we kind of need a car to do anything. Like, even you, Turtle Guy, I would say you live near a town, but it's still far enough away that it's easier just to drive in.
It's a 10-minute walk?
Yeah,
15
but even that is like, fuck that. Whereas, like, if you lived in a city, I mean, you could fart in any given direction, you're stumbling across anything you want to do.
I'd love the idea of, like, living in the city and then, like, oh, I'm gonna go to, like, the pub. It's, like, 5 minutes away. I'm gonna go to the cinema, and it's a 5-minute walk away. Or, like, oh, I'm gonna...
Was that a delayed reaction just to him saying big drinker turtle guy? That took like 10 solid seconds to settle into your brain.
I'd
was that lag?
to a minute. Listen, David, you've broken me. I, Turtle Guy, am an alcoholic, and I've been forced to do this podcast for my AA.
This is part of his AA. Yeah, we're just getting the air.
AA?
What's happening? It got so unhinged so fast.
Athletics Alcoholic Anonymous. But no, yeah, my pet peeves are just basically all related to people who drive that shouldn't be driving, and
present company included.
Yeah, that's kind of my biggest one. I can't really think of any others for me specifically.
Yeah, I was
too nice, though. You don't get
David,
angry.
Why did you bring up... Cyber isn't really a being that gets that angry. I don't think I've ever...
Me and Cyber are like the yin and yang of...
Yeah, I think it takes a lot to annoy... Like, I've seen you a little bit annoyed about things.
The most angry I've seen Cyber is when he played Penumbra.
Yeah, that is definitely the most angry... Okay, that's one pet peeve, because I know it's...
Like, I've seen you got personally offended by little things.
Yeah, but I try not to get actually enraged.
Like all the things I'm about to list now.
But I try not to get enraged, but video games sometimes that have bad controls, even though I know it's not their fault, it's just the time, but sometimes they just get very, very annoying. But it's fine. Fuck them spiders. Never playing that game again. Glad that we did it though. And I'm looking forward to the second one. Yeah. Which might be out by now. I don't know, we'll see. But I don't know, yeah. I don't really think... Is there any other pet peeves I have in relation to gaming? Because that is technically what the channel is about.
Too bad. Time for Turtle Guy's
Turtle Guy sneaking into everything. No, that's fine. Carry on. What were you going to say, Turtle Guy?
I don't really have pet peeves, but like David, I get very mad very easy. Because I could get very overwhelmed and just be pissed off.
Oh yeah, this isn't just pet peeves. This is like what annoys you. This is my venting podcast.
Or co-workers will fucking piss me off to a level of like... Sometimes. But again, like, little things annoy me, or I think it's more so for me. I could get like a whole bunch of things just go wrong in a day, and I'm just like, fuck this, fuck, ah.
And then you beat up whoever's in your nearest vicinity, which is usually me.
Yeah,
sadly.
so yeah, that's another pet peeve.
What?
If you watch the Titanium Throwdowns, that whole series, especially the Rocket League one, poor Mr. Whiskers.
Look, you.
You lived a long, fruitful life, and then I ripped you in half.
You're gonna win eventually. Look, statistically, you're gonna win an episode. You've won certain parts, which is the
Put me
only
in.
evidence you need.
Tag me in, and I'll.
Yeah, but then it's
I'll-
not a titanium throwdown.
Technically, we put you in the what was it? The Wild Thornberries.
Fuck the wild
Yeah,
thornberries, but that's
There
nothing
you
to
go.
do
There's
with
another
the.
anger.
That's another thing that pisses me off when
Just
people
spamming
discredit
Spamming
good
moves.
solid shows. What else annoys me? Just I don't know. I think I'm very easily annoyed just at people doing stupid stuff. Like I've mentioned so many
The
college
fucking
stories.
irony of that.
But
Let's go back a little while to freezing your monster in a freezer.
I
Turtle
know.
Guy
But
is
the
one of the
other
most.
thing
The
is,
thing about Turtle Guy, I wouldn't describe you as stupid.
No, you're
But-
far from it. You're very smart.
You're
there are
very.
things I do that are purposely full. Like I probably put the can in knowing this is gonna be a
You-
fun story for later.
You have no forethought.
No,
It's
no,
just
no,
the
no, no.
immediate
That
present.
annoys me. You kind of sometimes you'll just do things. You're an
I
instinctual
do
person.
things and don't think of the repercussions, yet you also know that I like to plan things ahead, which
And it never goes
any of
well.
the analyzers
That's a pet
that
peeve
are
of yours, I'm
analyzing
sure.
it-
The fact that nothing
What?
you've ever planned has ever come to fruition.
Most things, no. Recently, most of the things I've planned haven't, and I
No,
would
that's
like
not
to
true.
say I've come to a point now where I know, okay, that's not working, I scrap it. But it
Your
it did
strike rate
used
is
to
a
be
lot better than it used to be. Back in the
It
day, Turtle
is.
Guy was trying to get us to do shit, and it would literally, like, it would never happen. Now
Yeah, it
it's
would
like
take months, and then
70-30.
yeah, it would take months for Turtle Guy to organize a cinema trip or a bowling trip, and then I'd
I
call
was very
the
happy. There
night
was
of.
a period in time where I was like 10 for 10 on cinema trips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was a period in time also where you were trying to plan like trips weeks in advance, and then I'd ring everyone up on the night of a random trip and say, "Hey, you want to go somewhere?" And everyone would
no,
work.
hold on. I want to get more into detail because I remember the exact.
I don't remember the exact one. I just know what happened.
I don't know any of the ones. I think I was trying to organize us all to meet up, and it'd usually be like the plan would actually go ahead, but we'd be missing a guy because they'd be like, "Oh, I'm off shopping or some stupid thing." I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, so the story Cyber's on about is X-Men Apocalypse was out. Neither me nor you watched it. And I think one day we decided, hey, let's go watch it because we're friends.
Yes.
That's what they told
Or
themselves at
shall
the
we-
time, but
Yeah, that's what we. So, the day before on Friday, I was talking to you and I was like, oh yeah, I was looking at the cinema listings. It's only on at like stupid o'clock. It was 8:30, and that's too late to go to the cinema. And then we saw, hey, Ninja Turtles is on. Ninja Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows with Stephen Amell. And other
he wants
actors,
to be a
I'm sure.
detective.
He wants to be a detective.
He does.
So we agree to go, and then I think, I don't know exactly, was it that morning you say, hey, do you want to invite the other two? And I go, yeah, sure, but they probably won't be available. Moments later, oh yeah, they're good to go, and we're all going to Ninja Turtles.
Yep. And it was a character-defining moment that I completely forgot about.
But I
Yeah, I
gotta
totally
say,
forgot
and
about that too.
I
Turtle
enjoyed
Guy
it.
has a vice-like grip on some grudges, I swear.
Yeah, certain
Not,
things.
this isn't necessarily a grudge, but I mean, he just remembers things like that story
There is
for his
probably
entire life.
Yeah, I could go into work and I remember little things like, you wronged me years ago. And it could be like the simplest of thing that maybe that person didn't even do. Like, it was just they were rostered on some day that I wanted off.
Mm.
Or
I-
something like that.
I
See,
dread the day
I,
that Turtle Guy gains magical power, because then he's going to curse everyone. And there's going
the
to be
population of the
hexes.
Earth is dropping about 70% that day.
Exactly, yeah.
People that
everyone
I've
will get
never
turned to frogs
even
and shit.
met would die.
Yeah. You'll see, oh, someone won the lottery today, now they have no kidney. Or something like that.
Fuck.
Well,
Why
assuming
would I
they're...
steal their kidney?
The thing is, I think among us,
Bum, 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 bum. That's pretty sus.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sussy
Continue.
baka. Sorry.
I think within the group, you would consider me to be the angry one. But Turtle I have just a general rage within me. But Turtle has a
Yeah.
very specific one.
Little guy is petty asshole.
Turtle, you've driven with me.
I have.
Totally just changing the subject. What am I like?
Well, I will say, and I must actually say this, and I fucking adored the fact driving to college with you, because you'd be going to college and you're like, hey, you want a lift? Or I'd badger you for a lift. Both good options. I'd always be cheered up. I do actually want to say this first. I'd always be cheered up going with a car ride to you. I could be having a bad day, or like the week's going bad, but the highlight of the week would be going down to college. Like, we could talk about the most random of things, and I'd come out of that car ride and I'd be happy. And I'd be like, oh, you're 10 minutes late. I'm like, I don't care. I'm high on life.
That's
I'm
wonderful.
big happy.
That's really great,
Well,
Tony.
yeah,
This
I
is the
will
angry
admit,
episode,
sometimes...
so let's like switch gears to something
yeah,
negative. Really
no,
quick.
sorry, yeah, we got a little bit too hopeful and stuff.
That's very nice.
Most of the time when we were driving to college, it wasn't that bad because there wasn't that much traffic. But when we're coming home or when we're going to other places, oh, you get hot.
I get very
because
hot.
there's a Pacific street when we're going into the town we live in,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
there's
I
a
know the
lot
one.
of cars that double park.
Yeah.
And like every person that I've got lives with, I haven't even driven independently at that spot, but I dread the thoughts of it. It is so mismatched. I one of these days I am going to go to that like little area, and I expect all the cars to be burnt out, and David will just be running away with a jerry can
Oh, they will rue the day.
because it's so stupid.
That's the angriest I've ever been in a car.
But you got enraged.
I was like so fucking angry that one
Like
day
I know
because
the
I
running
literally
joke
couldn't
we
move.
have is calling you Dennis from It's Always Sunny and Homeland.
Yeah, that's a running joke you have mainly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Homelander he
joke
put
though
on
because
himself.
he literally embodied both characters.
Oh, I was so enraged.
You were so enraged.
I was furious.
Yeah.
I was furious.
You were
But you weren't
shouting.
driving fast.
You were doing the hand signals. You were doing like the pointed gestures, like move or like what are you doing?
5 fingers fused together
Yeah.
with judgment at the person. I'm like, what are you
idiot,
doing?
You shouldn't be on the road.
My hair
I've
was
never-
perfect until it wasn't.
I've never actually pointed or done any bad signals to drivers oncoming or like pre-coming. What is the opposite? Off-coming?
Even
Whatever.
Coming
today,
towards
I've
it.
seen
Coming
people
towards-
like
Pre-coming is
pull out
not
super
it's
fast
nothing to
and
do with
that would-
driving.
Yeah, I know.
Let's not talk about pre-cum on the
No,
podcast.
yeah, no, that's for a different episode. But
the sex
That's one of Trogo's
episode.
episodes, I think.
with
No,
with
no.
I've never actually had to physically like get angry with someone. The closest has been that I glare at them menacingly through my rear view mirror, or like I just stare at them as they drive past. And
This is another question for you, David. Would you ever
Wow,
like
okay.
if it's a no? Because I know Cyber
I'm
would.
joking,
Well,
don't
no.
worry.
Let's say someone touch wood and all that, but let's say someone rear
there's
ends
no
you
wood.
or does
Wood.
something. Let's say someone does something. Would you get out of the car or what would you do? I think rear end is one of those scenarios where you have to get out of the cars, but like a scenario where someone gets out of their car, are you getting out and squaring up with them, or are you driving away?
What the fuck? Hang on, since when do you
Wait,
square
sorry,
up
say
with
that
them?
again. So if
I've
someone
been in an accident.
scrapes my car,
Technically.
Yeah, let's say someone scrape or slightly dings your car, not like majorly, but are you getting out and being like, "Hey,
well, it
man"?
depends. If they like drive past me and knock my wing mirror off and they're gone, I'm not gonna bother getting. Well, I will get out because I have to pick up the fucking mirror. But I'm
No,
not
the
gonna
guy
get
will
out.
look in his rearview mirror and see you sprinting like after him, like an anime, like.
No, it would
see your
happen, and then I'm
blonde
just suddenly
hair,
I'm
and
just
then they'll
in the
look
back seat of his
closer.
car. And I'm just like, well, I'm the Undertaker
boom,
now.
boom. I was doing Batman, but it worked out pretty well there.
That was called a callback joke.
And look
Yeah,
back
I
and
get
you see like a little
physically
red
angry.
dot.
Like, I think I have really bad anger issues sometimes because some things will just happen and I'll just fucking just stay. I'll just think about it and then I'm just like, oh, I just need to hit something. Just start hitting things. I'd never hit them, but I just feel like I have to start like
I have
throwing
many
punches.
Oh,
times screamed into a
Yeah.
pillow.
this is a
Or
wait.
Cyber just gets
I'd love
so
a punching bag.
uncomfortable. Oh,
No,
don't worry, I'm not.
that reminded me of a thing that I want to ask. How? What do you have? Do you have any methods to try and expel your anger? Because I have one that
Uh,
I basically just exercise. If I ever get angry or feel agitated, more than
wow,
the
you must get
controllable
agitated
rate,
a lot.
I just exercise.
Cyber Prime has an 8-pack.
No, I don't have an 8-pack, but I do
If that
exercise.
was my thing, I would literally be the biggest fucker on planet Earth.
It'd be so wide.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what I try and do anyway. I don't know about yous. I don't
Uh,
really
So
have anything
usually
else.
it's people that annoy me. It's never situations. So I always can have someone to blame for my anger. So what I like to do is I like to just look at them, whether they're looking at me or not, and
you
then just
give
imagine
such a good
lasers coming out of
devil
my eyes
stare.
and blasting their head off, and then I'm happy
Yeah.
again. I used to do that in work. Oh, I used to work in a shop all the time. Well, not. I used to work in a shop, and all the time people would come in and annoy me. Almost like
If
they
it
wanted to
doesn't
buy something.
scan, is it free?
Oh, I fucking hate that so much. I literally would then stand there still. I wouldn't like whenever they make. I'm such a miserable fucker, but they would make jokes like that, like what Torgo just said, talking about
I can't think of any other ones because you mentioned that. That's the one you
shit
mentioned
like
a
that.
lot. Like,
But
oh, the
I was,
weather's terrible out there. David just grabs them by like the shirt collar.
yeah.
I wouldn't know. Fucking
Or the
stuck
amount
in
of times where,
here.
like, on a hot day, they're coming in, they're like, they get an ice cream, and then they'll go to me, "Oh, you must be sick of making them," and I'm just like, I'll just stare. There's no smile formed on my
You
face. I'll
just
just
don't
go
stop the ice cream. It just keeps going and going and
chips on
going
my
and going.
hand, and that was my method was just pretend like fucking just boom, lasers out of the eyes, they're dead, and then I could just
I did always wonder how a person got ice cream cone that far up their rectum.
I've never,
Anyway,
never actually realized.
we are
No, I
not
usually I
going to be
just
talking
picture
about that.
I just will picture something bad happening to whoever has wronged me at any given time, and then I feel better about myself.
What I
So
kind
how many
of
times have
try
you done
and
that with
do
us?
is realize that I
No.
don't need to spend time getting angry, and then I start trying to think of things that I can do that will be more productive than being angry, hence exercising.
There you
Sometimes
go.
I play the drums because if I tried to play the saxophone or any of my other instruments, I probably would try and break it. But the drums is a great one to get that kind of out of the system. But that's kind of my thing. It
I
doesn't
will
always work.
say,
I really want to get a punching bag, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I got
yeah.
weights, which help, but not as
One
much as
thing
a
that
punching
kind
bag.
of peeved me off recently, and I talked about it to used to an awful lot, was when we were doing a bunch of plays and shows and stuff, and there was a lot of there was a daily update of me just being enraged by people. Thankfully, nearer to other shows, it did get to a point where I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna take it in, breathe, focus, and then go up to people, explain my issues to them, and just be like, just frank and honest with them. For most people, for other people, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna have to work with you soon because you're just gonna not show up.
Yeah, no, group projects are kind of like a pick and mix bag. Anything with a
Yeah,
group can
but
either sometimes be great or sometimes be very annoying. There was one time for
um,
college where I was deliberately not submitting. There's two things actually. There's for the same group actually, just two separate projects. We were making two different like assignments essentially, and we all just had to contribute different things. And for the first, there was 5 people in the group, and the 3 of us had something given into the project until the last day. And we decided to wait, and I took it upon myself to be kind of like the group leader and try and make sure everything was uniform and correct. And we waited, and then we kept trying to call the guy and message the guy and said, yeah, I'll be there and I'll have something in a second. And we ended up waiting and postponing for 2 hours, and then he said, yeah, I'll have it on later on today. Then I stayed up until literally, I think it was 5 minutes before midnight, and he was saying, yeah, no, I won't have time to put anything on. So I had to submit that, and I got the assignment submitted with 2 minutes before the due date, or the deadline, because the deadline was midnight, and that was the closest I ever took to submitting an assignment. And then afterwards, Another thing that happened was actually same group. I think it was the same person, but I could be wrong. Is that this actually really got on my nerves, and I think that I may have done the pettiest thing in my entire life here. But I could be wrong. But this is one of the things that I'm thinking of. There was 4 of us that met out of the 5 that regular showed up to these meetings to contribute to the assignments and do the work and stuff, and we all put our names down at the very end of who contributed what and stuff. And then as I was going to submit it on the final day, because again I took kind of charge and just decided to go over everything and make sure it was uniform, and I was checking for spelling mistakes, just going like the final run through everything just to realize. And then I got to the last page. And at the very end, the guy who never showed up to anything, who I'm going to fucking name Trevor. Trevor never showed up to anything. Trevor never contributed anything. But there was Trevor's name at the bottom of the list saying that he contributed to a load of shit that he never wrote. And I looked back and I just wanted to make sure. He didn't add anything. He didn't change any of the spellings. He didn't even add a picture. He didn't format anything. Motherfucker didn't even put in an extra full stop. He didn't do anything. So I think he just
put
added
anything
on
in like the wrong font.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But at least
He didn't like kamikaze the project.
I guess, yeah. Like no contribution is
Just
better
puts
than
in a
bad.
big picture
Well, I
that
don't even
fucks
think
up
that's true.
everything.
Like a bad contribution is still a contribution that you can work around. But he contributed nothing, and I think he was thinking, "Oh, it's the last day. They won't check and they won't notice. It'll be fine. I'll still get the stuff." But I noticed. I took the kind of liberty and, dare I say, the enjoyment of deleting his name off the bottom of the project at the very end before I submitted it, therefore proving that he had nothing to do with the project, because he actually did nothing. He never showed up for anything. He never emailed to ask if he could do anything. He never tried to send anything to us. We tried to reach out to him. He never responded, and I wiped his name from the face of the project.
Those kind of people piss me off. Like,
Yeah.
you're like in the third year of a course, and you see people that like rarely ever fucking show up, and they're still there. You're like, how the fuck are you still here?
Yeah, but I completely forgot that was a pet peeve I had until you mentioned it there now. But yeah, that could possibly be the pettiest thing I've ever done. I have no idea if Trevor passed or failed. But yeah.
Trevor passed away because I found him and killed him right afterwards.
Wow, okay.
I do have another quick story, but I don't know. Do we have time?
Yes, of course we have time.
Yeah, of course we have time. Do you see me wrapping up, motherfucker? I didn't fucking
Okay, just double checking. I've said this a bunch of times. So like I said, we were doing a show, but once I say that, so I know I told Cyber. David, did I tell you about Germany Girl?
I knew this.
Oh, you told me about Germany
I knew
Girl,
this was coming up as soon as you mentioned plays a while ago.
Yeah, I forgot about it. So we were doing a play, and basically the way the play works is there was 8 monologue pieces. One monologue piece was already cut because the person their piece wasn't done enough. They didn't know their lines, and they had to take a week off. However, I think it was the week of pre-production. So pre-production week, if you don't know, is the week before the show. So basically when you practice everything and you basically tighten everything up. No, wait, or was it the week? Anyway, so short version. Pre-production week, the week before they put on the show, and the week before pre-production week, the 2 big important weeks, this person announces to the lecturer, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to be there. I'm going on holiday to Germany." So this is the week before, basically the biggest so we're doing a play, and they decide, "I'm going to go on holiday." And they knew the dates of when the show was well in advance. And they got cut from the show quotation marks. They were still there as ensemble. Like, we were just like that became her nickname. She was just Germany Girl. And ironically enough, this is what she did. I think it was the week after the show, or a week or 2 after the show. She went back to Germany. And the other thing that was incredibly funny was that she got stuck in customs. Yeah, so it was the week before pre-production week, but then the week of pre-production week, she was meant to be back. She was stuck in customs, and our lecturer said, and it will stick with me forever, rule number, how not to get stuck in Germany. Don't go to Germany. I just love it so much, because even, like everyone said, customs in Germany is like a real 50-50.
I mean,
I was in Germany like 2 weeks after that.
I didn't.
Yeah, you were shortly after you became Germany. Germany friend.
Germany foe.
I really like Germany though. The place I went to Cologne. It was very nice. I went there for like the Christmas markets, and we didn't run into any trouble with customs, as far as I remember. It was just a really nice experience.
You know,
You just saying that is also not
I
a
had no
pet
trouble
peeve,
at all
but
going to Germany.
it's a memory.
I've been to Germany twice actually, and neither time was there trouble.
Damn.
So I
I don't
think
know. I remember a
I
lot
think
of
Germany girls
people.
full of shit.
Germany girl
Quite
may be
frank.
full of shit.
Trying to make the drama.
I'm genuinely, I don't know, because even I was like a bit like, I don't think she's in customs. Because going by that logic, she was in customs or trapped in the country for 2 extra days.
I mean,
Doesn't
technically, it
seem
could be
right.
possible.
Could be possible, but still, I'm like, nah, you probably came back from Germany, was super tired, and was like, I ain't going in today.
I mean, that's also understandable, depending on what time the flight was.
Yeah.
That is
I
very
just hate
understandable.
people that get away with stuff like that. Because, again, same person was also, just I don't understand. You go to college, go to the damn classes. Like, I understand. Don't go to all the classes. Like, I'm not your fucking mom or anything, but just, like, go up to the thing you're paying for.
Yeah, I don't
Unless
find
you
that a
don't want
pet
to.
peeve, but I know a lot of people who didn't go to lectures, and then they kept asking for notes and advice on the assignments, which I don't mind giving. I find it alright. I just don't
Like,
like
listen,
doing it for every single lecture of the entire module. That's...
exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
but
if
this is the
you.
problem with you, Cyber, though. Tell them to get fucked. You're too nice.
I
If
won't tell
someone's
them
coming up to
that.
me every
I have
time,
slowly adopted that
I wish you
mantra
would just be
of
like, should have
just.
gone.
No,
But I didn't go to class either, to be fair. But I just looked it
Yeah,
up.
but,
I wasn't
like,
gonna ask people.
you are a smart person, and plus, like,
I
you
went
know
to
your
maybe
stuff.
50% of my classes, 60 at a push. And my attendance lessened with every year that passed until I finally graduated with 2 classes under my belt for the final semester. Fuck college. Don't go. No, I'm joking.
I
I
never
actually really like
To be
really
fair,
missed
you only
However,
came to
lectures.
college because of me.
definitely not true. If anything, you were one of the repelling factors. But in your final year, well, for me anyway, I didn't have to really go to class.
I
Well,
think
I probably
I
did, but
will.
I passed everything. I'm graduated. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, no, you did great. You
Yeah,
did
you
fantastic.
get the little straw
Oh,
hat and the diploma.
speaking of passing stuff, I have remembered another pet peeve that's only recently come into it's okay, not a pet peeve, but something that slightly annoys me. Is getting
Passing.
coffee. I have recently trained as a barista, and I know how to make coffee. And I know how to make coffee well. So whenever I go into like a coffee shop and I can see people not really caring and deliberately making, not deliberately making, but making the coffee not in a great way that will just kind of unbalance everything, or they're not aerating shit the right length for the type of coffee that you're getting. It's just not nice, and then I think I pre-render it into my head that it's going to taste bad, even though it might not, but it's just gotten to the point where I know how to make it, and then when you look at something when you look at people doing what you know how to do, but they're doing it worse. I phrased that really badly,
Yeah,
but
people are fucking stupid.
yeah, it's unless you're trying to teach them, which is a completely different scenario, which I've
I do
done.
hate teaching people,
But
though.
I like teaching people. I like teaching people
Fucking
how to
hate it.
do new things. But when people
I
claim
like
to know what to do
teaching
and they're
or
clearly
training
fucking
people
up,
that are willing to learn.
yeah, willing to learn is a good part of it. But there are always going to be certain students that won't necessarily be as invested. But that comes with that's part of the challenge of teaching, that you have to try and find ways to make them more invested and to get them more
Like,
compelled to learn. It's just part of the
I
process.
do have an example of, like, I was training a girl at work, which is a slightly different scenario. She was just there.
Because
I
you
was
hate women.
training her how to do the thing, and, like, she was just
So true.
looking at me do the thing. I don't know. She was, like, really difficult to train. But, like, so, like, every time I just had to point out, like, obvious things that I told her to do. And then a couple of weeks passed, and then the roster came up, and she found out she was going to be in there on her own, aka no me to do all the stuff that she didn't know how to do.
Mm.
But now, let me explain. It's not like I didn't show her how to do the stuff. I did. So then one day she comes in with, like, a bunch of books and pens and stuff, and it's like, okay, could you show me how to do this? already showed you how to do this. Oh, show me again. I want to write it down just in case. So she wrote down everything again. Well, everything I showed her. Then the next week she was in there on her own. She came down to me and is like, "Hey, could you help me with this?" Like, okay. "Hey, could you help me with this?" Jesus Christ. "Hey, could you? You know what? Okay, I'll do it." And then I later found out she was doing stuff that I didn't even. She was binning stuff that you weren't supposed to bin.
Ah,
I was
like the
like-
money.
No,
She's going up to
no,
the vault and putting it into a bag and throwing it into the incinerator.
Like, I was literally... I remember one day I was literally just dodging managers like Mario villains in the fear that I'd be like, "You trained this person. What did you do? It wasn't my fault, goddammit! She's an idiot!"
You're like Ra's al Ghul and Batman. She's going to eventually overthrow you.
I don't think so.
What, did she get fired?
Kinda?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, never mind. You're not...
Not
did
fired, but the
Batman get
boss
fired?
basically said, like, "Listen, you can take these days off, but, don't..." Basically that line from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. "Fine, go, but don't expect me to be here when you get back."
Oh. Well,
I only have one more pet peeve to discuss.
oh, go for it.
It was alluded to at the beginning of the podcast. Feet. I hate feet.
Oh, yeah.
I hate people who just walk around their house with their bare feet hanging out. Socks were invented for a reason. Fucking stop.
Look,
Cover up your
I have to
nasty
confess
ass toes.
to something. I will sometimes walk around my house barefoot. And if I'm going to a beach, then I categorically will walk around barefoot. Like,
No.
there's certain scenarios where you're gonna walk around barefoot. You don't have your shoe. Do you have your socks on when you're sleeping? No. No one does. Or, well, okay, people probably do, because apparently sleeping with socks apparently helps you sleep. Apparently that's
Not good
proven
for
No,
your
by
blood
science.
circulation.
no, but it doesn't make your feet shrivel up.
Well, I don't know. I don't sleep with socks
I don't
on
sleep
anyway.
with my socks on.
I don't sleep with anything on. It's just cooler, and it's just it
Well,
just
that's
lets
naked.
heat. Well, essentially, yeah. Sometimes it's just comfier to sleep in. You don't get too
I've never
warm.
slept naked. I don't like sleeping naked.
Well, like it depends.
fully.
Like sometimes you wear
Well,
like
yeah.
Even...
boxers.
So
and
wait,
stuff.
hold on. Like, in the nip? Like a nudist?
Well, like 50-50. Like it's I don't plan. It's just whatever I happen to take off or not take off.
So just one day you'll wake up and everything's hanging, or then one day you'll wake up and you're like half in like
Like in a
trousers and
tuxedo.
boots.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I walk around barefoot. I actually have barefoot, not right now, so don't worry.
I
But
hate
I'm
it.
in-
I just
I have
hate
bare
it. You know
feet
what the
slippers.
worst though? You know my biggest disgust? I've discussed this with many people.
What?
When people wear jeans and then they're barefoot in jeans, I'm like, that has to be the most sick fucking. As far as I'm
Images
concerned,
do
if you do
exist and
that,
you
you
despise
have
them.
people skinned in your act. Turgo, I'm still talking. I will come over, cut your feet off, and feed them to you, and you will eat with your mouth shut, you little fucker, or I will end you.
I think this is one of the most. This podcast episode possibly has the most over talking in an episode so far, which could be a pet peeve in
Yeah.
itself.
Well, no,
It is a
no,
pet
wait,
peeve
hold
of
on.
mine.
Cyber, you
Turgo,
are
no,
incorrect.
shut up, Turgo.
Invoking the
Figured out a
children
way to
tactics. I
shut me
see.
up.
Wow. Yeah. Cool.
Now
Nice.
we're all super conscious. No one's talking over.
Yeah.
Who did the most talking over Cyber? Lay it on us.
Oh, I wasn't counting.
It was
I wasn't paying
Turtle Guy.
attention. I think
what
it
I
could.
said.
It'll
Not
either
in
be
the,
me or
Cyber,
Turtle
it
Guy.
wasn't
It wasn't
in this
David.
episode.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Oh,
'Cause I
okay,
stopped
okay.
thinking when I did
Turtle
it.
Guy, I don't think that counts as what Turtle Guy is alluding to is something that probably happened in a previous episode. I think it's a previous episode.
What did you say?
I tried to explain a certain idea that people just did not want to believe was effective when it really is.
I was actually quiet for all of that over talking bit.
Well, you were crying.
most
That's the
part.
difference.
Yeah, I was crying. Yeah.
There's a difference between
I'm
quiet
so
and quietly crying.
confused.
Well, David, I guess if you want to learn more about this topic, then you should check out one of the previous episodes of The Boys in the Pod, which is The Perfect Heist, or something
future
else,
episode.
or future episode, whatever. I think it's called Perfect Heist. It could be called Perfect Robbery. It could be called something else. But either way, you should go check it out because it's pretty funny. It's hosted by Hoover, actually, for an episode. But anyway, David, what were you saying? Back to you, my friend.
Just you know, usually there's some progression to these things, but I just want to say that we started with my biggest pet peeve, which was mouth eat noises in general. I think I talked about my old roommate on another podcast, but did I talk about his mouth noises?
No, I don't know if I've ever heard of his mouth noises.
He would always eat like that, like no matter what. And he just, do you know? All right, this is a more specific thing. But you know when someone, sorry you won't, because you love everyone, but you know when someone annoys you so much that when they do anything, it annoys you more just because they're doing it. Like they'll flick the kettle and you're like, "Fucking shut up! Why is that making so much noise?" Like that's maybe. It seemed like everything he did was louder than when other people did it.
Maybe he just had everything hooked up
I'm with you,
to a
David.
microphone.
Like, we'd be there. I think it was just the timing of when he'd do things. Like, I remember one of our most famous, but like one of the things we always talked about within our group was when one of my roommates was trying to show my other roommate Daredevil. And you know how that opens with the confessional scene? It's like a quiet dialogue scene. It's like 5 minutes long. The nightmare roommate decided that was an opportune time for him to start frying up some fucking food on the pan, sizzling away, and then he opens the fan. The volume up to 100, couldn't hear a fucking word Matt Murdock was saying, so they just turned it off. But this guy would literally, like, this is the thing. There's one thing worse than a mouth eater, or like one of those. It's a finger sucker, and this guy was both.
Oh.
I'd be eating crisps, and it like that every single finger. Disgusting. I hated it. It makes me angry. There's Hoover in my hall, not the co-host of the podcast, the actual object. So it just, I can't stand mouth noises.
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah.
I think I'm the same. I don't think I hate it as much as you, but it is sometimes annoying.
It makes me violent. Like I start seeing like my vision blurs. My vision blurs.
I think we could effectively develop
You start
like a
seeing
Richter
red.
scale.
What, based on yeah, potentially actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd work.
You know my biggest pet peeve of all time is
What is it, David?
Podcast.
when you're really enjoying something and then it comes to an end.
Ah, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
My other biggest pet peeve is having to talk to Turtle Guy because he just makes me want to fucking kill someone. I hate him so much. No, it's not true. It's not true at all.
Hey, why
Turtle Guy,
do you keep coming
I
back
hate
then?
you? Turtle Guy, what's your favorite thing about me? Go.
Oh, your luscious good looks, your strength. What?
What's so fucking...
Oh God!
I don't know.
Can't tell
The
if this is
theory comes
intentional
up
or
that
not.
I think David is slightly a masochist. Now let me explain.
Did you
Because
not
he
accuse
says
me
he
of
hates
being a
me so much,
masochist at some
but then he
point as well?
comes back.
He was trying to accuse me of being a masochist one time when he called me an egotist. But I think he might have meant that too.
Oh, I think Turtle Guy is trying to put a masochism on everyone to try and slowly
Deflecting, yeah.
Deflate,
it's like a way to call everyone else violent.
Yeah, but deep
Not
down,
me, though.
Turtle Guy is
Not
the
me
masochist.
that imagines punching people that annoy me. I got close one day.
Anyway,
I'm gonna use my words.
Turtle Guy doesn't matter, whatever. No one cares. Shut up. Yeah, that's the end.
You know what? You know what annoys me?
We're all
People
friends.
not
Disclaimer.
joining the podcast. Not
You know what
joining the
fucking?
podcast.
You know what really
Oh,
grinds my
that's
gears?
smart, Turtle Guy. Fuck, that was a nice segue.
Yeah, I meant people not. Someone help! I can't. But
Turtle
my
Guy's
brain.
laughing
One thing that annoys
No,
all
you're
of
the
us
host.
here at the Boys in the Pod is when you don't support this podcast. David will take it from here.
I can't remember how I.
Make sure to like and subscribe and follow and heart this podcast anywhere that you will listen to it. Thanks, David. You did great.
Oh,
on
I
a
had
USB
such a good
stick.
outro the last time, and just I don't know what happened to me. I forgot how to. I think I'm just so angry now.
Your socials.
This has welled up everything.
David,
The socials.
you did
Socials.
warn us about this. You did say like I might get too hot. I might go too far.
I think I remained relatively calm externally. It's just internally, all of it. It's just
I've
like
seen
I'm just
you.
like
I
He's
have
gonna
seen you hotter.
explode.
Oh, you've seen me
Like,
angry.
yeah, like even
Even in
talking about
previous
films or like
podcasts.
little things.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
anyway,
so don't forget, guys, leave a like if you like the video, or leave a rating or review on wherever you're listening. Basically, if this podcast was something you were into, fucking let us know in one way or another. Let us know your pet peeves via our socials, links wherever links go, depending on where you are. Cyber Prime has a YouTube channel, as does Turtle Guy. Go check those out. Cyber also has a Twitch page, and be sure to follow the podcast so you can see future
Liz,
episodes. And be sure to give me a little kiss on the lips and tell me everything's gonna be okay.
love you.
cool.
That's pretty much it, guys. I don't know what else you fucking want from me. Fucking pet peeves. I don't know what's happening.
The
Goodbye.
job would be so good if it weren't for the customers.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.